Hi everyone, this is Sam Highvoice and my buddy Zayden.
Hey.
Alright, so the joke I've been talking about for a while, eh?
Yeah. Trying to finally get somebody to talk this movie. Person watched it.
Uh, could you repeat that? The audio didn't come through.
Sorry. I'm just like glad I finally have like somebody to talk this movie because everybody else who I know hasn't seen it yet besides you. Yeah.
Really?
Well, because
I mean,
because Fludges doesn't really like comic book movies. He's like the only other person with him.
true.
He's not.
Well, I mean, my parents, I believe they went to see it. I'm pretty sure they went after me. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's talking either.
It seems like, yeah, like everyone's seen it except the people we talked to.
Yeah, it does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, where do we start, huh?
I want to do like a review of the movie, or we want to break this down like scene by scene.
It's up to you,
Hmm. I want to talk about my favorite scene in the movie,
Alright.
and I think it's your favorite as well. The bathroom scene.
Yes, it's certainly not because we talked about this off video a little bit. For us.
No.
Certainly not.
So this
But
is
yeah.
by far my like favorite part of the movie. Just 'cause I know like at this point in the movie he's technically like not like Joker yet. It's kind of like the beginning of like when he kind of starts to become him in a way.
Yeah.
But just like from like the image that everybody's seen, it's probably
Yeah.
the image of him like dancing in the bathroom, his head back, arms back, and he's just like free to be himself in a way. Just like that image alone, like when I first saw it, like yeah, that's the Joker right there. That guy right there, it's Joker.
Yeah. For me, that's actually kind of where he becomes the Joker, in my opinion. Like, for it starts.
Yeah, okay, that's where like it starts because like what happened right before it, where the scene where he's getting jumped by those, or they like stock swindlers or whatever.
They're just like sub delinquents, basically.
Yeah, but they were like Wayne like stock, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they were Wall Street guys. That's saying on the news, right?
Yeah, something like I think so. Yeah, but yeah, they're like you see it in the trailer where he's laughing. And it's because like because you discover early in the movie that he has the condition where he like laughs when he's like nervous or like other reasons when he's like stressed or whatever, so he can't control it. And we'll get more into that, but he's like laughing because like they were like picking on this lady and they're like, "You got a problem?" He's like all weirded out and starts laughing, shaking his head and can't stop laughing.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
dudes
the
start
card.
yeah, and they like I love the card, by the way. That was great.
Yeah, and I love how it said please go back, and she completely ignored that.
I think that lady in the beginning did give it back, didn't she?
Oh, no, no, what happened was, she just kind of away, and the reason why the whole scene happened, I mean, aside from his dickhead coworker, because he was looking for his card, and he couldn't find it.
Hmm.
He was patting himself around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they started kicking him, and I think why like he kind of becomes a Joker, and that's because everyone I've has said, "Oh, it's self-defense." He was just being beaten up, and he was just doing what he had to do.
Oh no, it was self-defense. He just took it way too far.
Yeah, I don't. The last guy starts running off the sub. You have to shoot him down violently on the stairs.
Yeah,
That's not self-defense. I'm sorry.
like even that's like the movie was like already like eerie and like uncomfortable as you're watching it the whole way through from the beginning. You kind of like a little bit unrestless. You're like, oh, this kind of like feels weird. But like right when that happens, like when he like shoots that first guy, you're like, holy shit! And then he like guns down the second guy. But it's like the third one where you're like, because the guy's like pretty much
Yeah,
helpless at this point, and you're like, okay, Arthur, I think you're taking this a little far, and then he like mercilessly kills the guy like a, I don't know, not necessarily a slow, painful death, but like, I mean, slow and painful as far as gunshots go.
yeah. He spined him. So
Yeah, after he already got like shot through the leg and was like limping, and he like shot him
yeah,
in the back, crawling up the stairs, and he like
I'm really impressed with his
spines
aim
him.
though. If you've ever shot like a handgun, 22 or something like that, most things miss more than they hit. Like if you're target practicing, things are not quite accurate.
Yeah, like the
And
Bill
he nailed
Burr
every
joke.
single shot.
Yeah, like the Bill Burr joke when he's in the gun store and you see it in the movie, guy goes blam blam blam. He kills 5 people, but in all real life, you miss all the.
Yeah, it's no shit. I used to have I forgot what caliber it was, but it was like a handgun, like airsoft, and my dad taught me to shoot it.
Hmm.
And I missed so much. Towards the end I got really good, but you have to factor in a lot of things, especially on a subway.
I shot an air rifle a few times at like a summer when I was younger, and I swear the day I did the best was the first day. Every day after that,
Yeah,
I kept missing.
yeah. I mean, there's two ways. Like either practice and get good, or luck just does not favor.
Yeah. So he like mercilessly guns down these people, especially the third guy. But then
Yeah,
he like runs to the bathroom, this public bathroom. He's like panic, but he's like heavy
yeah,
breathing. Then he just like calms down slightly and he starts slowly dancing. It's very
just
ominous.
damn.
Yeah, and it plays definitely my favorite song in the movie. That like that you know what song I'm
Yeah,
talking about. I like
I'm pretty sure the actual like, Joker is just that one extended.
it should be if it is.
I could be wrong. Like I listened to it, the entire soundtrack, the entire soundtrack before I saw the movie, but after I saw the movie, I listened to the soundtrack, and I remember the Joker theme very similar to the bathroom scene.
I think they played that song like not just in bathroom scene. I think they played it at least like once or twice more at different
Yeah,
scenes in the
they
movie.
played it in a couple scenes, isn't it?
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
love the bathroom scene so much because I feel like I don't think he's like the Joker yet, but it's like the beginning turning because there was already problems. But that's
yeah,
like the beginning of like he starts to turn because with that gun and him gunning those people because he always been like beaten down physically or just like mentally or verbally by people his whole life. And that was like the
yeah,
first time that he actually had power in some way. And
yeah,
it
and he definitely realized it.
yeah, and instead of him like cuz at first he was kind of like in a panic, but then instead of like feeling like regret and sorrow for it, it felt good to him.
Yeah, it was like a release.
Yeah, it's like, and then he's like starts like dancing in it because then he's like releasing like more of like being himself. It's like now he's like being himself in a weird way because he doesn't
Yeah,
have to like pretend to just like be normal.
yeah, yeah. I do really like that aspect. That's pretty good.
And he's
But
just
yeah,
like letting
I just
loose.
really mark it as birth of the character. It's like you see it a little bit. He's established that he's been in and out of mental health. What was it Arkham State Hospital?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. He's been in and out of that, and a lot of things throughout his life, his childhood, young adulthood, and it's always kind of been there in him. But this is like where it wakes up. This is where the beast really starts to come out.
Yeah, like the whole like beast thing though, like him being like inside. He still makes the decisions to like pull the trigger on pull the trigger of that gun or act this way, act out and cause violence. That's still his choice to do. But
Yeah.
the origin of the beast was not his choice. It was not his fault.
Yeah. And
'Cause,
that's part of the I like this character for really good job. Not so much asking you to sympathize with, though I've seen some try and sympathize with, like justify the things.
no, you can't
The fact of the
justify
matter
you can't
is,
justify at all the things he does. And like
yeah, but I've seen people being weird about it. And it's just the fact that you understand him and like
yes.
it makes him tick.
Yeah, that's what I feel. It doesn't ask you to like feel bad for him, aside from like maybe in the beginning when he hasn't really done anything yet, like when he gets jumped by, smacked in the face, fine. That I can understand you feel bad for him because he hasn't done anything yet. But then from like afterwards on, I don't think they ask you to sympathize, but to empathize, and to like you don't have to agree with what he does or feel bad for him for the things that happen to him. But like you said, like understand why he's acting the way he is and why he's.
Yeah, really asks you to do.
It's a mirror to I think, the real world. It's like holding up a mirror, like how it actually happened.
Yeah.
It's not because there's always like like the scapegoat like reasons like people like blame like movies, TV shows, video games before they like blamed comics. They even like long going blamed like Shakespeare for like causing violence and stuff because all these different things are just like easy scapegoat things to blame rather than looking at the actual reason, which is usually ourselves, people around us, and society's structure.
Yeah, that was actually what my video was about. I didn't want to be too much. I just wanted to point out that this was the perfect opportunity to finally start talking about mental health and not in a taboo way. It always has been. And, I mean, people are still trying things like, has recently started saying something, but I mean, goofball anyways, so what else is new? But, yeah, it's just, I really love new avenues for discussion.
I hope it does because I don't really want to get too much into like pretty much the boycott of the movie. That's been done to death talking about it. But
okay, I just totally ignored that.
yeah, it's pretty much been done to death. Let's move on past. But it's like like people's like concerns of like how this is gonna like inspire violence and shit. I think if anything, this condemns it. And
yeah, it does. It very much does.
Because people are looking at too much face value, and this is a very, very deep movie. It and heavy as shit too. But it's like I said, it's like a reflection in a mirror of our own society, and if anything, teach us a lesson on how to prevent like this happen.
Yeah.
Even just like a simple just like showing people kindness. Like he says that to like Thomas Wayne when he like confronts him in like the theater house bathroom. Like one of the things he like says.
Bathroom scene.
Huh?
Bathroom scene.
Yeah. But like one of the things he like says to him when he like confronts someone, he's like, why can't some of you just show people kindness? Or just like something along those lines. He just asks like why people just can't show kindness.
I mean, he was also mostly kind of talking about like how no one wants to listen to him. And he was kind of projecting a bit, but there was some stuff that happened that was like Thomas Wayne could have easily just viewed him as a moron. Like who is this guy? Why is he here? Yeah, and he would have been completely valid in that. But
And
having seen what the Joker's been for, you understand why he is, where Thomas Wayne doesn't.
because we're looking at it through Arthur's perspective, Thomas is, because
Yes.
this whole movie is pretty much just told through like Arthur's perspective, more or less, which you find out by the end you can't really trust his perspective. But I don't know.
And I think it to a certain extent.
Yeah, sir.
Like, I feel like most of the movie is true. Some theories that made up. I feel
It's definitely a movie you
90% true.
you have to watch the movie more than once to try to like pick like put the pieces together. It's definitely not something you can watch once if you want to like understand it like fully.
Unfortunately, I've only had time to see it once, but I have. Hopefully, I have a pretty good memory of the things I really like. So, for my head, and I have having different iterations of thought about certain scenes, like what's real, what's not. So I've had a lot of time to think this before about it.
Yeah, same here because I like replayed it in my mind a whole lot and like watched like what other people thought about the movie, just like reviews or theories and such. I remember like one that like Matt Pat did that I didn't like really like consider when he was like trying to pick apart like what's real and what's not, was that like in certain scenes, like when things are like going like seem like they're going a little bit too good for him, like people aren't really like acknowledging him like too much, like when he's like sitting listening to that other comedian talk, and he was like laughing, I guess, offbeat with everyone else. You would think everybody
He's kind of pretending to laugh.
you would like think that like since he's like laughing like way after everyone else that he would be everybody and somebody on him, especially knowing his luck. But like I remember like Matt Pat was like saying stuff like that, like scenes like that, like he thinks might not be real because as it's like going too well for him and like people pay him no attention necessarily. Just like in the beginning where he has the daydream of about being on the talk show and he gets like singled out. Because he's laughing offbeat there too. Nobody's like paying him attention and stuff until he gets pointed out because his daydream to happen to acknowledgement. But and then like scenes where he's like getting like shat on and stuff by people, then that's like what's real. Like him riding the bus and that like lady telling him, stop bothering my kid or whatever, like stuff like that's real, but then like things that are like too happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that could be one way. I also understand when people like say that maybe the whole movie isn't real, which I don't think that's true, but I can definitely like see their point because like even at like the beginning of the movie and the ending of the movie come full circle a little bit where he's like talking to like a different like therapist type person. So like at the end where he's just like laughing and the lady like asks, what are you laughing at? Just a joke. Would you mind telling me this joke? And yeah, you wouldn't get it. So they're like saying like maybe the whole thing was just like an hallucination and he's just in an asylum somewhere. So I can see that, but I don't feel like they would make a movie like this just to do the basic it was all a dream-esque.
Yeah. I kind of part has to do with the Thomas and thing.
Yeah, Thomas.
Because while to throw that in there, I mean, obviously it's a bad movie, so they gotta have that mandatory scene. But I feel like
let the pearls fly
is mostly, besides her with Gotham, but it's mostly with Thomas Wayne between Arthur and Thomas. I just kind of feel like the concept of him being pushed away, and then that, like, I guess lack of acceptance by Thomas causes his undoing. And like why else show that in the plot of the movie? And close to the part where he says you wouldn't get it, and he's laughing at a joke. I feel like that fits best with that scene personally.
Doesn't he also say like after like because it was kind of like muffled because I couldn't hear it that clearly I was in the theater. I heard like other people say, but after he says like the "you wouldn't get it," and then it like shows like Bruce standing over his dead parents, doesn't he also say like some people get a kick out of crushing others' dreams or something like that?
I believe so. Yeah, he did say something like that.
Yeah, he's like you. He's like, nah, you wouldn't get it. Some people just get a kick out of crushing others' dreams. It's like he like
Yeah, he
knows.
did say that.
It's like he knows like what happened to like the Waynes and like what happened to like Bruce, who at one point he thought could have been her brother. So it's
I'm
like
sorry.
it's kind of because it's like he kind of knows what happened to the Wayne family and what just happened to Bruce, who at one point earlier in the film he thought could have been her brother.
Yeah. By the way, what do you think of that? Like, do you think it's just like a subplot, or do you think it's real?
What do you mean? What do you mean real? Like, do I think he actually is Thomas Wayne's son?
Yeah, because there's a like,
Or if that subplot actually happened?
no, is it actually like? Do you think Joker is Thomas's?
No, I don't. I don't think he's
You
just.
know,
No.
I actually kind of do, just because of the themes, like the rich kind of put down the poor, which is I don't really know being that deep. It does have its moments for sure.
What do you mean
Like
the movie?
the rich versus poor, it a lot of times, but this film, well,
What do you
that's
mean
for
the movie?
sure.
What do you mean the movie's not deep? They had a callback to Bruce Wayne sliding down a pole.
No, I mean like not that.
I
Like
don't know
there's a
that.
lot of people. It's the deepest thing that DC's ever. I mean, fair. It's not that hard. But like
It's probably the deepest like live action movie they've made.
in terms of superhero movies, for sure. Yeah, like I honestly think this film was just Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix having a little laugh, like, hey, we're gonna fit in a logical thriller in the comic book, and everyone watch it, and it happens.
I mean, I feel like this movie wouldn't have got anywhere near as much attention if it was the. Because they could have easily did the same script with just like an original character, but they put Joker.
Yeah, for sure, and I do on purpose.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I mean,
Because then
Todd
people
Phillips
wouldn't go
isn't a
watch it.
dumb guy.
Because nowhere near as many people go watch it and it wouldn't get talked about.
Yeah. Oh.
I feel like that's what they did.
Like
I feel like that's what they did. They like took like this type movie, this like character study that they wanted to do to like show the world like how things actually happen. They just did it in like the disguise of a comic book film because that's what's popular.
yeah. They did a really good job of not making it too comic book. Also doing a really good job of doing a period. Like I watched some videos of Todd Phillips breaking down the sign, like how they did a lot of CGI and placement of their cars and older dress. Like they actually had to get people dressed in 80s attire, and it was a lot of work. And I really had a lot of respect for the production of the film after I watched that.
Production great.
Yeah. I really can't say enough. More comic book films and shit films like this in general, this much effort and care and love into it, I'd probably freak out about movies a lot more than I did.
Yeah, because they did like all this like a movie like big budget movie scale on a very small budget.
Yeah, I actually like that.
And like now, not only is it profitable, gives me the most like money made from a rated R film ever, but it's like insanely now, isn't it like pretty much like as profitable as Avengers is now?
It's getting there.
I know
Like
it didn't. I know it hasn't made as much Avengers, but like profit wise, it's like near.
Yeah, in terms of like how much was put in versus how much came back,
Yeah.
it's matching Avengers from what I've heard.
Boom.
Yeah, which I really do. Just take Yes.
Score 1 for DC. Disclaimer, I like both.
Yeah, we do, and I think that's safe to say.
Because I love the MCU. I just really love the Joker.
Same. I know he has a chance in hell that's gonna happen, but I kind of want them to have Phoenix's Joker in the Robert Pattinson Batman.
I
Like,
would,
even if they
I
never
would
meet, I'd be perfect
love
with it.
that so much, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, because said Joker's like part of Black Label.
Yeah, and it's like
I
a
really
one and
don't
done.
like that. That's what you're calling it, because their comics are also doing something like that.
It's like DC
And
darker.
called Black Label.
Oh,
They decided to have a comic book series called Black Label and a film series called Black Label, because that won't be at all in terms of.
nope. I mean, aren't like they're all supposed to be their movie side? They're gonna be doing like, continuity, and then like else, right? That's what Black Label is. Elseworld Tales.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So if they do like
From what I've been reading.
so if they do like another Black Label movie, it doesn't even have to take place in the same world as the Joker movie. Like they can make like I don't know, like I don't know, maybe a Catwoman. You say for example, it doesn't even same world.
What would be a successor to Joker?
Another Joker
That's
movie,
a
but
tough question.
another Joker movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, looks like they make it too.
I don't think
Todd
they
Phillips, no. Joker Phoenix seems to really.
do. I thought he was gonna be the whether they do or not, because he signed up for like a one and done, and then that was it, and that was kind of like the plan. That they're gonna do Joker, and then no sequel, no stand.
There's actually been a lot of people coming out, like production crew. Todd Phillips was actually the one that was saying this is a one and movie. This just kind of belongs out there, and
Which it
fans
does.
can kind of piece it into other as they desire. But Joe did that. Like, he did say, "Yeah, I just want to sign up for this film," but that's Joaquin. He looks at every single
Joaquin.
script. Yeah, I say Joe just because me. But, I heard that production process of the Joaquin Phoenix became enamored with the character and kept throwing out sequel ideas. So it could have been a weird sense of humor that I actually kind of respect.
Quick thing though, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. They should have, and this is an ultimate nitpick. This doesn't affect but I feel like even if they just slipped into the credits, I don't know if there would have been movie appropriate to slip this in, but like I don't know, in the credits somewhere, if they could have had part of the soundtrack, the joke with
Soundtrack?
I felt like they should have had the song the jokes part of the soundtrack.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Guess. I mean, I really like the songs that they picked.
I do too, because I don't think there's actually an appropriate point in the movie itself to like fit that song, but like I don't know, maybe a song during the credits, maybe.
Coming from a person who like saw the trailer, they used the Frank Sinatra song "Send in the Clowns," which is actually a cover song, but that's. I guess he's the one who.
Oh yeah, that guy in the
that
dude on the subway covered it all.
Yeah, something I kind of said to myself, hey, that'd be kind of cool if they did, and it actually happened. Frankly,
Yeah, Murray.
He would sign off his show. That's. I was thinking to myself, it'd be pretty crazy if they slipped in Frank Sinatra, "That's Life," and in the credits, well, they did it.
Boom.
I was like, cheeky bastards.
You cheeky.
Yeah, I love that so much. I honestly say I really have a which is rare.
Yeah, and like the movie
'Cause-
itself, there's nothing that change about it. Because like
Yeah.
usually like in movies I love, like I'll like see like one, like even if it, like I love Infinity War like so much, but
Mhm.
like there's like a couple times where they like made a joke where I felt like they could have did without that. But
Yeah, I mean, every film to have that, but that's what makes this film so special.
like Joker, I was like, there's nothing I would change at all, even just like a sentence of dialogue where it's like, yeah, that wasn't necessary. I felt like every single word spoken deserved to be there.
Yeah, like every single second of every scene was done very intentionally.
Yeah,
And that's very rare to see.
there was like no filler part of it at all. Like everything felt like it mattered.
Yeah, I could say that. And even like the scene that I've heard people criticize, why is it there? Was the fridge scene where he starts ripping everything out. I think that's because a lot of people that yeah, it's kind of facility for this film in the 80s where there was a lock on all fridges had locks, and it wasn't like you could get out after you got in. And that's what like I feel like for that.
Oh yeah,
So like
yeah.
sorry, I wasn't sure if we're gonna say something.
No.
But yeah, like I feel like that was like there and like just be smart about it, you know, because there's a lot of people that aren't gonna catch that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I just kind of like thought, like he's just like going like crazy or whatever. It's like,
That's what a lot of people were saying, and
But
I
even-
was kind of like when I was watching it, like,
but like even then, I was like, yeah, this is fine.
yeah. Because I mean, a lot of people like they're stressed out. Like even I do this. Like when I'm having a really bad day, I'll shove my head in the freezer.
He was truly
Because
going
like I'm
into
getting
ice.
so stressed that there's just heat coming off of me.
He was truly going into ice.
Yeah.
Like his fortress of.
But
There's a question: does Superman exist in this world? Probably not.
you know, what W shows, which I basically call Dawson's Creek with CGI.
What, the Arrowverse?
A Crisis show that I'm actually gonna watch.
I might watch that just because the old I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Is Mark Hamill supposed to be in that? Oh, or
Yes, he has been cast. Who knows what for? Because he's played a couple roles in the CW
because
verse.
I was like,
Actually,
is he gonna be like an old Joker? Or he gonna be the trickster?
yeah, I feel like it's gonna be Trickster. But
I only know. I never watched The Flash. I just know that from. And he like tells some dude.
I've just seen. It's because he voiced the Trickster as well, the cartoons, and he kind of looks good for people, so I think that's why they did it.
Yeah, I only know
I've
that
actually
he
talked about the Flash book. It had the Trickster in it, and he does kind of look like a young Mark Hamill. Crazy haircut. Yeah. I just like that it's gonna piece other pieces of canon into it. Christopher Reeve's Superman's, I could argue, is Brandon Routh placed, and Brandon Routh is playing older Superman. I just find that fascinating.
see. That's what's the beauty of head incorporation. Ruin it,
Yeah, yeah,
Disney.
yeah. It's pretty unfortunate what Marvel's.
You think?
But then again,
you think
it's kind of shocking that they've never done this, and DC has all the rights.
Marvel's got? That's a topic for another day.
Yeah, and we can't get too into because they had.
What was Endgame?
Yeah, well, obviously that was their most profitable.
I was like, I hope it's not Captain Marvel.
Oh god. Oh, I actually was thinking about that movie the other day. I thought it came out like a year or two ago, and I just realized that was this year.
Yeah, it was this year.
The same year as Joker and Endgame. God, that movie got screwed over.
Well, if you look at like all these scores, Joker. I think most people have grown up to. I think most people have grown up to realize now that critics.
It's a lot of pandering, basically.
I'm not usually one for like, saying that like shit to like themselves look good because I know what happened. They don't. But
I'm sorry.
no, I'm not like the one to like throw around accusations that like companies like buy like or like buy like media outlets to make themselves look good.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, I know that like corporations do that. I don't like to be the one to throw that accusation. But I'll just say it wouldn't surprise me anyway if Marvel, Disney, have been like, let's just say warming up to like people like Score and Rotten.
Yeah.
Because it just seems to me that like stuff seems to go their way quite a bit.
Yeah, like especially with movies that are very controversial, like Last Jedi and Captain. Those are the two best examples, really. Somehow they came out spotless when it came to the reviews, and it's like movies were pretty jarring. I mean, Captain Marvel isn't no any single way.
I feel like Captain Marvel.
I kind of feel like that deserved like a mid-tier review.
I felt like
but
Captain
Marvel, Jedi, where you got to see.
Yeah, this one. I felt like Last was actually not even a bad movie in a way it go. Otherwise, I wanted it to straight between the two. Like it was like I can say it was a good movie. I just like, but then like Captain Marvel, I'm like, at best, this is just a generic super that you could just like take the same notes and patterns, drop any character. It's like story.
Yeah, it was pretty cookie cutter.
Yeah. I'm not against like people liking the movie or liking the character. I'm just like I don't like it. Like this is amazing. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen this movie. I mean, it's new to you.
They had potential too with that movie. I agree. This is a conversation for today, but they could have taken that movie anywhere, and they just went. They just went to.
Let's put it on Earth, like everything. Yeah, real quick. The whole thing was like about like trying to build a light speed engine. If the Kree and the Skrulls already inhabiting multiple planets and travel to and from planets, what the fuck do they need a light speed engine for? They can already do that. No, worse. A light speed engine isn't even fast enough to do the shit they already do. You need something faster than light speed. So the whole plot of the movie was fucking pointless.
They already have like the jumps. You add up. What? Just gotta leave it be because the
No, you gotta leave it alone because if you mock that movie, you're what's wrong with the world.
I thought that like microphone cut was Disney getting to you.
You're what's wrong with the world. I bet you like the Joker too. Yes. Yeah.
I saw this video, Joker Simulator, I think, about this guy.
Is it just like you going around shooting people? It's like some butt hurt.
It was just a movie for himself, and it shows how like most of the people there were girls, and there's like one or two owners, and it's like really awkward. And then he runs into his ex at the theater, and she's like thinking about how he's an incel, and he's just trying to and they're talking
He
in the
can't be
film,
an
and he
incel.
turns back and goes, shh. It cuts her headline, incel, it's female or something like that.
I mean, he's not an
It just
incel
cuts
if
to
he had
the,
an ex-girlfriend.
huh?
Well, if he has an
Yeah,
ex, he can't be an incel if he has a girlfriend.
yeah, you have to be able to completely reverse your virginity through getting a really high KD.
He could be a bitter ex-boyfriend with a different.
Yeah. But I actually have to say, I've been seeing how people, because this fast, like how movie theaters are when people see a movie. That kind of, what is the graphic? I don't focus on it too much, but it fascinates. I can actually say the people there for the Joker movie on a date, and I included my girlfriend is kind of wanted to come with, but that's because she likes these kind of movies.
I feel like there was theater because I went very early, so there wasn't people there because they were doing other things. So it was kind of like when you, me, and one of our friends saw Captain Civil War. Like everyone,
DJ?
yeah, because everybody. Well, I didn't. Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to Civil War, a big time movie, but a day.
What's up?
It's because like when you, me, and him went to Civil War, it was a big time movie, but then there was like nobody there because day.
Yeah, we went at like an odd time of day.
Yeah, I didn't go the day to creeping up on. It was kind of like creeping up on the east. But yeah, it was kind of like nobody there.
Yeah, I actually had to take that day, and I went pretty like that's like date time, and I don't feel like this date movie.
No,
like,
it is not.
I did not treat it that way at all. My girl and I just went to spend some time together, and I knew the type of movie to take, but you know, the cookie crumbled. But
Robo saying,
yeah, sure shit. All the couples were like paralyzed. There's like they were not gonna talk. It was just so, and all I could do was release like an awkward laugh at the end.
You wouldn't get it.
I was knowing because I could tell just by the trailers and not to like brag or anything, but like I kind of figured out where this movie was going, and it kind of reminds me of like The Shining mixed with A Clockwork Orange, and either of those movies are couple movies. You don't go see that with your date.
I could see I haven't watched Clockwork Orange, but I understand the vibe of how that movie.
There's like rape scenes and.
Oh yeah, I understand like the general.
It's not comfortable to watch.
Yeah, I understand like the vibe of like the just based off what will say about them. Like, yeah, I feel like or compare. Yeah, there was like nobody there when I went. I think there was like, there was like a couple, like 2 or 3 couples, and then me and like barely 3 or 4 other. And pretty much every. No.
I don't recall having. But I've been seeing people saying that parents, which I believe, but I do feel like Ryan Reynolds kind of shoot kids in the Deadpool movie, and that's the one.
People are forget what an R-rated.
It's just lunacy.
Because Deadpool and Logan, which was another like. Both of those are like hard R films for like, just like how graphic they are alone.
Yeah.
Deadpool as well because like the. But I don't understand. Took their kids that and then were like appalled by like, well, what did you understand? Like it says rated R and it says in the underneath it why it's are. What did you not get?
Yeah.
It's not like the Joker
People are pretty
movie.
thick sometimes.
Plus, the Joker's been decades. Most people, Joker, very, very, very violent character, and is the most disturbed character is. So I don't know why you would think it's appropriate
Yeah.
with an R rating
Yeah,
attached. Because this is not a. This is not a soft. To be fair, it's not overly violent at all. Like
But
compared
the
to.
scenes that are.
Yeah,
You know,
they're not like gory and graphic like you would say like an R-rated like slasher horror film are, where they're just like gory and everywhere and blood spurting. It's not like it's just
Yeah.
like a disturbing atmosphere, and then when there's violence, the violence seems very real.
Right.
Like I knew Murray was gonna get shot. There was no question about it. I knew
Yeah,
it. I knew after the trailer. We just see him with the gun. You're like, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
the way it happened shook me because it looked so real. It looked as if we were to see some like a late talk show host get shot blank in the face, live TV. Like that's exactly how it would look. I think that's why it's so. It looks so real.
Uh, exactly like that.
You turned into a.
I'm sorry?
I didn't catch any that you were a robot.
Oh, cool. It reminds me of a guy himself on live TV. He's a politician. His name is something, I think. And, like, it was alright, and you got to see all the detail, and I think they studied that, which is like an uncomfortable. Like, I did try and emulate that dude's suicide.
Because he was originally
like,
because Arthur the Joker was originally gonna kill himself. He was gonna shoot himself.
Yeah.
I loved so much that he's like practicing like what he was gonna do. Like with he had like the curtain in his room and he had like the couch and the chair set up and he's watching. Not to like make me sound like a bad guy, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure other people do this when they like imagine themselves in like scenarios. They kind of like rehearse it in their mind and they might like inadvertently act it out a little bit. Like I've done stuff like that. Like I like pro wrestling and I start like thinking about like either something that I would do in like a wrestling scenario or feel like another wrestler should do. And as I'm like thinking about it in my mind, I start acting it without realizing. Or sometimes
I mean, I feel like
I'm
that's
purposefully acting it out sometimes.
I found this for a second. My pupper some ideas.
Okay.
After that, we'll have like some discussions. Just gotta mute myself. And I'm gonna pause the recording. Sorry about that. I just had the daisy out.
No problem. Are we still recording?
Huh?
Still recording?
Yeah.
Perfect. It's like, well, I had like a couple other things. Bring up like a couple other scenes.
Good.
Plus, I had like a question I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Cause you when you like texted me like after you saw your show, you said that this was
Yeah.
now headcanon for you.
Oh, yeah.
Headcanon to what?
Just, like, I kind of try and piece DC Comics together because they've rebooted like 5 times, and they're again. So I kind of feel like DC has, the thing that attracts me to DC stuff is that it's kind of like the Wild West. You can kind of put anything together and call it canon. And I really like that. And I kind of feel like my Joker is black.
See, in your mind, how this movie is part of the verse?
I just kind of, when I read Joker now, because I've been reading some of my older comics, and there's actually some new Batman comics coming out that I've been forward to. It's just permanently like Fleck is just gonna be Joker to me.
He's definitely now action Joker, and like who like Heath Ledger. But as far as like in my mind, how I pick be live action wise, Joaquin Phoenix, Arthur did it. Sorry, but yeah, I like.
I'm sorry.
Next, I know a lot of people like Heath Ledger's Joker so much, but to me, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is better. So, like,
right.
live action wise, like when I think, just in general, I think about who the Joker's supposed to be in my mind, what he's supposed to do, what he's supposed to look like, how he's feel and act. Arthur Joaquin Phoenix Joker is that. At least out of the live action Jokers, he's the closest. Still, to me though, like my favorite Joker of all time is still almost Joker, just because he nailed everything. Like when I say, like when I picture in my mind who the Joker's to be, it's him.
Right.
But live action wise, Joaquin Phoenix hands the best live action.
I think I'll agree to that.
I feel like every Joker aside from Jared Leto has been like Joaquin Phoenix was amazing. Yeah.
Poor guy.
Caesar was good.
Yeah.
And what was his name? Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah, Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, and Joaquin Phoenix are probably gonna be like the main guys.
They're the three Jokers. They're the three Jokers.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But I always just said Hamill's the third. I don't know, maybe it's just because that's who I so nostalgic to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
But just to me, I'm like,
I do to make. But I don't know what it is. I feel like maybe it's just because I didn't have a strong attachment to the Batman show. Not to say watch it or like
it's my favorite show of all time.
It just didn't hit as much as some other.
I don't know, it's just to me, it's like Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, respectively, are the definitive Batman and the definitive Joker. And nobody I've seen play the, voice-wise or live-action voices ever to either one of them.
Fair.
And nostalgia definitely plays a point in that, but it's also because those two, like, shape who Batman, Joker, top. Plus, then, like, if I don't read all that much, but if I ever read, like, panel involved Joker, it's their respective voices that I read it in my head.
I mean, that's fair.
I hear Kevin spoken Hamill's voice, and especially laugh the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, I see that.
But I don't, and I think this is undisputable. Like, who's the best Joker can be disputed, but I think it is definitely undisputed. Mark Hamill's the best Joker.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. He has the best like laugh because I don't. Oh wait, no, one. The director actually confirmed it. there was one laugh in the entire. That was the Joker laughing. And,
Which was?
The last one. Because all the other scenes, like, remember the scene where he was watching the comedian? And he was laughing off. That was him trying to laugh and copy the sound of. And the other were him in pain.
Yeah.
But like the last laugh that he does, like after he nukes Murphy. That's when. Yeah,
that one. Yes. I like
that was like him actually being Joker.
I really liked the laugh that he did when he was like at like his job when he was like walking back to the office, and it was in the trailer as well. I really love that. That was the laugh that made me like when I saw like, okay, yeah, he's a.
Yeah, I love that too. Just what happens after.
Yes.
Is reprimanding him, and he's just got that smile.
I've had like that same look on my face so many times when like someone's been like talking like down to me about something I know they're not right about, but I'm in no say shit about it, and you just kind of have to eat shit. You just have to stand there and you just like, you know you're right, but you just say shit about it because in this position, so you just have to like shit and love it too. So you're just like, okay, fuck it. you just put on the smile. You're like, okay, yeah, mm-hmm. But at the same, that made me laugh and feel uncomfortable at that time. That with that smile, like it made me laugh just because it's relatable, but then made me feel uncomfortable because I know who he's becoming. Oh.
Yeah. I actually really liked the scene. I heard a lot of puckering in the theater, but I was really enjoying that scene just because it was actually kind of like
this movie's definitely an ass clencher.
The Joker.
This movie's definitely an ass clencher because there's like different times where you think something's gonna happen and then it just doesn't. For me, was when I thought he was gonna kill the little guy. I was like, oh no.
I could just call because they didn't have the scene where the Joker does something unpredictable. That's like a staple of Joker stories, like Batman, the Man Laughs, and like they didn't have that scene.
No, because the genius about the genius about the Joker is that like his actions always seem unpredictable, always actually well thought out, and they just appear unpredictable. But then he always still does have that one thing where you just go, okay, I didn't see that. Like
the Joker.
Yeah, and he just like stabbed the big dude to death that gave him the gun earlier in the movie.
Right through the eye.
Yeah, that. If anything, that's the most like visually graphic part of the movie as far as like pure violence goes. Just because like the thing that really sold me about that, about like, oh god, this is bad, is when he was just slamming his head into the wall over and over again. I was like, oh my god, this is brutal.
Yeah, that was great.
I was having like kind of like a stiffer version of the reaction that the other dude was having, where he's just cowering in the corner like, no. I shit you not, like part of me wanted to like get up and walk away after seeing that, not because like, oh, I hate this movie. It was just because it made me feel
needed a minute.
Yeah, it made me feel uneasy. It's like I needed to go recover after, because I'm like, holy shit. I felt like I witnessed a real murder. Like both that and the Murray killing, I felt like I watched a real murder. And even the subway one, each murder felt real. That's why I feel like it's so like uneasy, because they didn't look like movie murders. They looked like real murders.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they actually studied like what it looks like in crime scenes just to like get that extra. And I have to say,
because you can watch like a Mortal Kombat fatality where somebody gets like guts spilled out and not bad enough, but then you just like watch like this guy get gunned down in the back, little to no blood be shown, and feel completely.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, probably a third of what made this film so good to me is the fact that I said to myself, if the film has me feeling comfortable at the end of it, like when I walk out,
then it didn't do its job.
I've seen some shit.
Then it didn't do its job.
Yeah, it doesn't in my hall.
Yeah, but the scene where he like stabs that dude with the scissors though made me feel
Yeah, that
so
was.
bad and so uncomfortable because
Mhm.
at this point he's like long far gone past the point of like sympathizing with him.
Yeah.
And you're just like, holy fuck, this dude is a bad fucking person. And then when I saw like the little dude cower in the corner, I was like, no, leave him alone. And then
Yeah.
he's like, no, it's okay, you can go. And then
Yeah.
he's like trying to
And then he
tiptoe.
scares him
Yeah,
because he's detached from it.
I thought he was gonna actually grab him. I don't know about you, and I was like, no. Like I like
Nah, I knew he was fine.
yeah, but then the part when I was like, oh shit, he's actually gonna let him go, and then when the door was locked, I was like, oh no, he is evil. I thought he knew that he left it locked and that he couldn't get, and then he was gonna give him that false sense of, oh, this is too far. This evil, evil fucking man. But and then he like opens the door because he's like, you get the door, and he kind of like
Yeah.
has that look on his, oh, of course, oh no. And he goes over there, he unlocks it, opens the door, and like
Nice to me.
it's like as he yeah that part it's like he's about to walk the door and then he just closes it in front of me. He's like, you know what? And I'm like, oh, you're the only one who's ever nice. Kisses him on the head and then like
Yeah.
that is like that is literally the perfect Joker scene. If I could ever describe one, that was the perfect Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say that was pretty great.
No, because what's the like what do the best Jokers all have in common? Is that they're both
They're batshit crazy.
yes, but is that they're both scary and funny at the same
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
if you could
Yeah. Yeah.
at the same time, no less too.
Yeah. I mean, like when I left the theater, I really respected that scene and I got a good chuckle out of it. What I really liked about it so much is because I really did feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and
I
it
felt
scenes
kind
like
of like the
that,
puke coming up, you know?
and it was scenes like that that not only made me be like, yeah, this is in Joker here, but it's like it was scenes like that that made me feel like so uncomfortable and uneasy, and like not knowing what he's gonna do next, not know what he's is that despite him being like very lanky, very like frail and weak looking, this movie made me terrified of him. Like I was legit like scared of this guy. Like if I saw this guy, I'm afraid of him. Just because
Yeah.
like, I do not know what he's gonna do. And you would think like size comparison that I should be able to take, but they
Yeah.
always say you don't mess with a crazy person, no matter like what their size or stature is. If somebody's crazy, you do not fuck with them. Because it's
I've heard because like there's like there's something about if something's not wired right, in your body like makes up
yeah,
from a biological standpoint. I don't know if that's 100% true, but there's some stuff I've seen that back.
but yeah, it's like despite him like being like size and
Yeah,
and like
he
weaker than me.
looks like a guy in the corner who's like, kids hard candy.
Yeah, but it's like this dude, Arthur Fleck, scares the shit out of me like towards the end of the movie with like who he is. Just I'm like I would not want to be near him at all. I would fear for my. I wouldn't even put up a fight against him, despite me being bigger, because I'd be too scared to scared.
Yeah, yeah.
This movie did such a good job with the tone, the atmosphere, and how it made you feel throughout the whole thing. And then at the end, they made you afraid. At least in my case, they made you But then, being such a good Joker, that scene with the little man where he kisses him on the head, lets him go out. They make the same guy that terrifies you makes you laugh, because I laughed at that. Not like a loud audible laugh, like just like at it because it was funny.
Yeah.
But I didn't want
you just have to shoot that out to feel okay.
Which that might have been why they put it in there, aside from Joker moment to like, be like the
Yeah.
slight ease before we go into like the grand finale of the movie. Because it's like
I
right
thought,
before.
like the entire film, like where they placed everything.
Yes, the pace,
Yeah,
the pace, story, the placement of everything, perfect.
yeah. All in all, I gotta say this film, like if I were to rate it,
And you're not a
butt
ratings
clench
guy.
out of 10.
It's a butt clench out of 10. And you're not even.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Nothing more needs to be said.
Well, yeah, you're not even a big ratings guy. You don't like ratings, so that's very important. That the fact that you were even a rating speaks to the respect you have for the movie.
Yeah, like I recorded a video earlier today where I was talking about a movie, and I just kind of want people to see it. That's what matters to me is like if someone goes out and sees it, I don't really focus too much on like where it belongs in movie tiers because everyone has their own opinions. But I just the nature of this film, how everyone can take it their own way. It's kind of like the Bible. Like things you can say about it, almost to the point where it's pointless. It's just you have to explain in some way, you know, just to know.
Yeah, but yeah, because I know you're not like a big ratings guy. So anytime like you like a movie in like sort of way, even in like joke form, it like
Yeah.
to me tells me that like yeah, the movie has to be like good in some way for him to even consider a rating. I like giving like ratings. I don't know, maybe it's part of like side of
A
my
lot of
brain.
people do. It's nothing that weird.
Yeah, because I like sports and you know like something like pro wrestling and I always like stats in pro
Yeah.
wrestling is why you know AEW. By the way, everybody Wednesday night AEW Dynamite out stats and stuff, which makes me happy. It makes so I don't know. Maybe that's like my brain's way. Because I like rating wrestling matches or like movies. I like doing like movies out of like having like a baseline where I consider a good movie. And Joker, to me, is now like is the only the third time I've given a movie. Excuse me, first because I don't like giving 5 stars out ratings or anything, rest matches or movies, because then I feel like it cheapens it. If you just throw 5 stars at something, then it loses.
Yeah.
Which I've watched way more wrestling movies, to be fair. I still feel like I have less than 10. I've never written them all down. I have them like all my. But I'm pretty sure that you could still count them on 2. And then like the movies I've joke. I'd give
I'm sorry?
Joker's not like one of only like 3 movies now. I have 5.
What are the other two?
Them all being is not a coincidence. But yeah, Joker, Infinity War, Logan, which all 3 of them are comic book movies, but none of them are anything alike, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that you know, they have different things that make them great, but they all make you feel the same at the end. You know, you feel like there's something that while.
And to be fair, when I give like a movie ratings, I don't grade them based off of how good like I think the movie is as a movie per se. Like, I still think to this day when you're still being at a 5 star, I gave Infinity War 5 star, and bitch, I like I enjoy and walk out. Glad I watched that, and there and with Infinity War, Joker, and Logan, those three movies, them being like, yeah, there's like almost nothing. So I guess that movie is the perfect possible, so it warrants 5 stars.
I can see that.
But what's that?
Sorry, I think the call's cutting off on my end. I think I have to wrap her up.
Okay, I want to make like one more point. Because you said like the bathroom scene like earlier, like right before we start recording, was kind of like where you felt like the Joker was born.
Yeah.
I felt like to me, even that's my favorite scene. That's kind of like where he like started becoming the Joker. And like I said, like that shot is my favorite shot in the movie, with him in the bathroom. Everybody knows that shot. Favorite shot, but I don't think that's when he like becomes the Joker. I feel like, to me, when he finally becomes like the fully realized Joker, is the end of the movie when he smears the blood smile.
Yeah, I mean that's a good argument. Like that's
because up to then I feel
I've seen some people use it as like nails for stuff.
Yeah,
and I kind of feel like that's the scene you should hide.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because that's like, yeah, it's definitely a scene you should hide. Because I feel like, even though you don't agree with pretty much any things he's done up to that point, everybody like from a character loves the Joker. And I feel like in that moment, that's like a special moment in the movie for Joker fans, where you just like, because like I remember watching it when he did that, and I was like, there he is, there he is. So that to me,
it really reminds like someone growing himself, you know, like when they have that the confidence that comes with just knowing who you are.
Yeah, because I feel like right then and there, in that riot, and then with my where he like who he truly is, and he can be true, like, because up to that point he was like still like crazy and crazy, mad, but like then he was gonna kill himself when he killed Murray instead. I feel like throughout that whole time he was still like Arthur, who was just getting crazier. But then once he does the blood smile himself, savior, rider, that's when he. That's when.
Excuse me?
That moment when he kind of like becomes the, like the savior for the rider, puts the smile on his face. That's when he kind of becomes fully realized.
Yeah, the king of clowns.
We're all clowns out here.
I think that's the scene where he accepts himself. Like the movie, he kind of felt like he does deserve to be alive. And, I mean,
well, he didn't even know if he was. He said that.
Yeah, that's true as well. Accept the fact that he is who he is, and everything that he perceives is just what he has with.
Yeah.
It's just what he's working, and that's just what he's always gonna have.
And so we're gonna kind of like wrap this up now, but we didn't really talk about this, but I just want to make it a point so we acknowledged it. And this movie and you touched on it a lot in your previous video yourself, with like how this movie, anything, brings attention to like mental illness, how it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Like, so like in the movie, like the budget cuts, he got his meds taken away, he lost like maybe like the only out he had at Kennedy with therapy visits. He had his notebook, which he like turned into a joke book where like morbid thoughts and jokes. Like, police, your son's dead, he got hit by a car. Or like my favorite line where like that he wrote was the worst part of having people expect you to behave as if you they expect to behave normal.
Yeah. And, I kind of feel like what I did on my video, I kind of forgot to mention it, but I to some sites where people can go get help. And since you're recording, I think we should put those in the description below as well.
And you can
if they feel alone or things are out of control or just they're not in the right place.
Yeah, you can send.
In case they happen to see this,
Yeah, the same ones from your video, right?
Yeah.
I can add those. Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure everyone knows where they are, but it's just for the best.
No problem.
Because there are people who listen to you and help listen to you. It's just about going out of your way to find them.
Which then, like, this movie, if anything, brings attention to, like, problems that even just, like, regular, like, everyday people who might, like, maybe something them, but they still need somebody that and actually I said, like, even for just like regular everyday people who don't even necessarily have something really or medically wrong with them, they just get beaten down by like everyday life, and it's hard for everybody. But there's people out there who will listen to you, not just sit there and let you talk to them, but actually listen and will talk with you and help you out through things.
Yeah.
And
I feel like there's a decent amount of people out there. I don't feel like there's any hope for that.
And there's a lot of help. It's just when you get down on yourself, it's hard to find.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone, regardless of if they go deep end or not, or they actually act on any of their thoughts, I feel like dabble, experience make us feel or in ways that
yeah, like invasive thoughts.
It does always turn out to be a phase.
Yeah, like invasive thoughts stuff.
Yeah, and important to start accepting that, and just being more okay with talking about it. Because
then, if anything, if we do listen to each other, we can prevent like these horrible like events that happen in real life, like shootings, stabbings, murders, and in general. A lot of these could have been prevented because a lot of them happen because of like see what happens with Joker in this movie, like
just the general disconnect.
Yeah, between like fellow human beings. Like you just walk through like anywhere out in public, like a mall, a store, you just see like how like semi-conscious in a way people are about one another.
Yeah.
Everybody's lost in their own like me world, and we're guilty of this ourselves because we aren't like totally 100% passionate 24/7 around the clock.
That's because we're living in a society.
That's right. But yeah, I don't know, just like going out of like our respective ways, like just to be a little kinder to one another every day could just be a bright spot in someone day that you don't know. Like just saying hello to how are you to somebody could brighten that person's day enough that like if they were having like bad thoughts that day, even just that could be enough to like maybe help them get through it another day and not make a bad decision. Yeah. Because think like that line that villains aren't born, they're made rings very true, not just in stories, but in real life. Yeah, and the part about that is they don't realize it. They don't realize that's what's going on. And, just treat people like to be treated. It's the goal. And it's not that hard to. It really is. And like, we like all, but just like in general, if we all followed it, like truly wanted to, we could. And every single person in the world would be so much better and happy place because if we weren't all so caught up in. But anyways, I think this is a good somber note Joker discussion. Yeah. great movie all in all. Loved it. I love the message that it brought out, and I hope this is a movie that gets talked about for years.
I'm sure it will.
It'll get it'll get looked at, dissected, what's true, what's not true, what does it all mean. It'll keep getting talked about for a long time, like multiple other classic movies does. Because this to me is a classic. It's a classic.
It definitely deserves to be.
Yep. But yeah, thanks for taking the time out of your day to discuss this movie with me. I was like dying to talk about it with somebody.
Yeah, man, anytime.
So I think that's it for our video here. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll have like Sam's stuff linked, so if you want to go watch him, he does a lot of different reviews about multiple things. He's done like comic cards, some movie reviews, and you got some other stuff coming down the pipeline, right?
Music stuff too.
All right. So if you're interested in stuff like that, he's a big nerd just like I am. So he's more on like the comic book side of nerdom as opposed to me being on the wrestling side. But I go back and forth with each of them, so I have like my foot in like spot.
Yeah, it's important to, pay attention to everything.
Yeah.
To be multifaceted. But
we're all part of the nerd culture.
Yeah, everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
But all right, so I gotta get like in real life too. So
all right.
Yeah, talk. It was especially nice talking. And yeah, so catch you guys later.
Now, guys, too sweet to subscribe button. Zayden.